Good evening, everybody. My name is Stephen Boyard, and my paper is on the Las Vegas Valley water supply and policy issues. First of all, I'd like to say hello, Kaveh, and let's begin. First, a quick introduction. The town itself of Las Vegas is created in Las Vegas Valley in 1911 with the incorporation of Clark County. It was a very small, sleepy, dusty southern town up until about 1936 with the creation and opening of the Hoover Dam. After the Hoover Dam was opened in 1936, population grew steadily, sometimes at more than 100% every census record. Now, up until 1991, there was no congealed, consolidated authority for all of the water supply areas. However, in 1991, the Southern Nevada Water Authority was formed out of all of the potable, wastewater reclamation, and stormwater districts in the area. Now, the area needed this because in the 1970s and 1980s, the average daily per capita water use was in the 400s. It was increasing. However, in the 1980s, they did have a surplus of water, and they thought it would continue. Now, the present figure was 2012. They actually had reduced it to 222 gallons per person per day due to a drought that had first started in the late 1990s. Their future water use, they're hoping to get that down to about 199 gallons per person per day by the year 2035. The Colorado River flow allotment is about 16.5 million acre-feet a year. However, Nevada and Las Vegas are having water problems because their allotment from this is only 300,000 acre-feet a year. It is the least out of any country or state. Now, the main reason for that is because when the agreements were actually signed in the 30s, there was very few people in the area, and therefore it was believed that 300,000 acre-feet a year was more than enough. Now, when the Southern Nevada Water Authority implemented restrictions in 1999, they included several harsh restrictions, which included golf course water budgets, which is 6.3 acre-feet per year of water per irrigated acre. If you go over that, there are harsh penalties that include billing rates up to 9 times the normal billing rate. They limited outdoor water features for both businesses and residences to a maximum of 25 square feet. There are turf limitations up to between 25 and 50% of the total square foot area of the property. And there are buybacks. For every square foot of turf that you rip out, they will buy it back for you for $1 per square foot. Additionally, there are landscape watering restrictions. However, they are right now only in wintertime, and they are 1 day per week. Some future recommended actions to help them get to their allotted goal of 199 gallons per person per day or less would be to completely ban new outdoor water features, to increase the golf course penalties and buybacks. Those are the turf buybacks. Additionally, they could buy back certain golf courses and water-themed parks. Universal water meters to every customer. Even nowadays in places like Oviedo, Florida, there are certain areas that have water meters on the building rather than each individual apartment. The tiered water rates are not in line currently with the national prices, and if they move them more in line with the national prices, they would probably have more luck in conservation. Right now, the national household size is 2.6 people per household. They used about 90 gallons per person per day. That's one method. Another method to set the water rates could be a square foot method. The average home size is about 2,300 square feet, and that would help encourage people to reduce their home sizes and thus their water footprint overall. Last graph, the two lightly colored lines are the city of Sanford and the city of Orlando. Those actually max out at just over $5 per 1,000 gallons during a monthly billing cycle. And this is interesting since the Central Florida area receives approximately 36 inches of rain annually versus the Southern Nevada area only receives about 4 to 6 inches annually. And we actually have more expensive water here. Some future recommended actions. We have 2 more here. The change commercial customers billing based upon usage rates like we saw in the previous graph. And give out credits for efficiency. Currently, commercial customers are mostly charged based on the water connection pipe size, the diameter, and not actually how much water they use or the efficiency per person or per customer of that water. Leading into that, we want to encourage or even mandate LEED, Green Globes, some sort of certification, environmental certification process. A good example of this would be the City Center project right off the Las Vegas Strip. It's recently completed a few years ago. It has 6 LEED Gold certified structures, resulting in the largest privately funded project in the world at $8.5 billion. It incorporates 17 million square feet of commercial and residential space. It has an 8.5 megawatt cogeneration natural power plant. They're using the waste heat from that for hot water for the area. In addition to that, the amount of energy that saves is equivalent to about 8,800 homes. The overall water reduction for this cogeneration plant and the LEED certified structures is between 30 and 40% for indoor water use and 60% for outdoor water use, saving on average about 50 million gallons annually. The last future recommended action that they're currently working on is to increase water flows into the area. They're not just working on conservation. Currently, the Great Basin Pipeline Project is underway. They have recently secured their rights to move the water over the Bureau of Land Management right away. It's a total of 336 miles of pipeline, up to 8 feet in diameter. It will consist of several hundred wellheads, a large treatment plant at 100 million gallons per day, several hundred miles of high voltage lines, new and improved roadways, collector pipes, dozens of staging areas. The cost, however, is currently expected to be $10 to $15 billion. Now, that is a sticking point. However, in their March 11th application, they were seeking to have 185,000 acre-feet a year of groundwater rights in total. The actually approved amount by the State Engineer's Office was only 92,000. So the cost for the project will not drop proportionally because the majority of this was taken out of 2 out of the 5 Valley County areas. Therefore, it will probably be anywhere between $7 and $10 billion in the end with this new adjustment for November 2012 development plan. So let's look at analysis and conclusion of this plan. Basically, the Great Basin Project is plausible but expensive and environmentally tricky. With that reduction for the 2012 plan, it's between $1,500 and $2,500 per acre foot of water, and that's for a 50-year bond because it's a 4-stage development per the State Engineer's Office. They have to get several years of baseline hydrologic and biologic data. Then they can only do 38,000 acre feet the first 8 years, 12,000 after that, reaching their maximum amount almost 20 years after it's first built at about 93,000 acre feet a year, and it will take at least 8 to 10 years to build it. That's once they get started, and it will take them 4 to 6 years to start construction at the earliest. Some of the concerns were frequency and magnitude of dust storms. There's a lot of radionuclide particles because of nuclear testing at the Nevada test site in Nevada. This can cause very horrible dust storms, aquifer drawdowns, causing environmental degradation to many of the locally occurring springs in the area. The Native American cultural and social impacts. The local economy is built heavily on recreational outdoor tourism, and of course the continued potential for poor implementation and political mismanagement by future and successive officials and generations. Lastly, we have an analysis of other alternatives. They're looking at anything from coal bed methane production, ocean desalination. Remember, much of the water is actually used by the state of California at 4.4 million acre feet a year. So if they have some sort of shared use and build desalination plants for the state of California will actually potentially cede some of their water use to the Southern Nevada Water Authority. Lastly, we can see at the bottom there, weather modification is actually the cheapest cost. However, there are unpredictable environmental side effects because of this that are really unknown at this point in time. Okay. Any questions you may have, you can send them to me. Thank you.